Hey guys, this is Tracy Becca. I want to welcome my guests, Eddie Brill and Passenger Shaming, Sean Kathleen. Welcome. We're about to get started, and let me just get going here. One moment. So, I want to welcome you to Terrible Advice Airlines. Thank you for traveling with us. Please buckle your seatbelts, babies, because we need to prepare for your flight. It's going to be a little bit of a bumpy ride. We have camera issues here on our first episode, so please bear with us. We are petting a furry wall right now. So, but we're here. How are you guys doing tonight?
I am lovely. How are you, Tracy?
I'm lovely. I'm lovely to be lovely with you, lovelies.
That is so lovely.
I love lovely. I love lovely.
I love love.
Yeah. If you love love, I like love, but I love liking love.
Exactly.
You know, with terrible advice, it's our first episode. So the thing is, what we do best is we are experts on giving terrible advice. So what that means is people ask us a question and then we give them terrible advice. So we actually have three travel related questions from our mailbag from our audience. And one of the first questions that someone asked is, what is the best way that I can run away from my life? Right? I think it's something we've all thought about if we have to be honest.
Well,
So I could go first. It's up to you guys. Go ahead.
no, you go first.
Okay. So I've been giving terrible advice for about a year on another platform. Um, we're also streaming here on Facebook Live as well on my page, Tracy Becca Facebook. So anyway, the best way that I can run away from my life. What a great question, right? So my answer would be, out of the whole world, I would say that you want to rent a convertible and drive to Vegas. That's probably the thing that you would want to do first because everything that you do there stays in Vegas. And then you're going to feel so guilty that you probably just need to like abandon the car and take a flight to the caves in the Himalayan mountains, so that you can contemplate your life because, you know, you're going to need to have a conversation with yourself, or maybe perhaps really this is a conversation between, you and the police. It just depends on how bad it is.
Yeah, I like that idea of getting the police involved because that, you get to have a little bit of action as well as, escapism, which is really important. So if you commit a crime, and, it matters how much of an adventure you want, how heinous a crime you can create. Like there's murder, by accident, like you backed up the car and grandma didn't see you, or the murderer was like, there's grandma, get her. There's different kinds. So um, I think that it's a great idea to commit a crime, and now you have to run from the law, and that's how your life completely changes.
I want to say I agree with that, Eddie. In all fairness, right now, times are tough for a lot of people, right? And I mean, okay, I apologize for me. And what I would suggest, at least for maybe the majority of Americans right now, listen, free food, somewhere to stay. I'm totally down for prison. Like I never would have been like, maybe 3 years ago. But right now, yes, I'm totally down with prison. And so I'm going to say absolutely with the police.
It is a safe place to be. Yeah, I would have to agree with you. Probably the worst advice ever. Um, just to let you know, you may not get a phone call from me, and when you call me from prison, um, I might get you in trouble, but like, don't expect me to pick up the phone when you call me from jail. So, just letting you know in advance.
I thought of that recently. How nowadays I don't remember anybody's number. Like I used to have a million numbers in my head. What's your mother's number? Blah blah blah. What's your old number for when you were 5 years old? Ah, here it is. Now I don't know my brother's number offhand, and I love him. But oh, I think I hit something. Or somebody hit that. But anyway, I didn't. It's kind of interesting how if we went to prison, they say you get one phone call. It's like I don't know anybody's number. I know the pizza delivery guy. Maybe he can come by, but I don't know my brother.
Maybe you guys can become new best friends.
I like it. I like it. And if that cheering sounds like I'm getting eaten by a lion, I have to admit, scared me a little
We have
Because you are. Hang on, buddy.
we have a speaker request from Chris Rossetti. I'm going to accept Chris's request to come to the stage. Hello, Chris.
Good evening from beautiful San Francisco. I'm lying on a football field looking straight up through the uprights in the end zone, and I have a question for Eddie especially.
So beautiful. Is it hopefully you're asking us for terrible advice or?
Yeah, actually, any
Okay,
advice. In fact, the question's for all three of you. I don't mean to be sexist. It's a sports question. The
absolutely.
question is this. As many of you may or may not know, the Giants, San Francisco Giants, finished with 107 wins last year, and now they absolutely stink. Is it a good time to become a Mets fan, Eddie?
bit. I was just watching the Mets game before here, and they were winning like 11-2. So look, if I've been a Mets fan my whole life, and they've only won twice. Once on my birthday, which is really good, but that's a long time ago. So if you want to bet on a team that because you have a shitload of money and you don't give a shit about losing it because betting is fun and screw everybody, I would be a Mets fan. Otherwise, I would put my money on the table. That's what I would do. I need to take a pill. I'll be right back.
Thank you
Chris,
so much for
I need the lion to come eat me to get me out of that one. My tangent was
terrifying, isn't it?
scary. You know what's funny, Tracy? You had talked about renting a convertible and driving in Las Vegas. I've done that before, and oh my God, it's very lovely. Speaking of lovely,
Oh my God, life changing. I love it. I love that you have taken our life changing advice, Eddie. Seriously. Yeah.
yay!
So, yeah, we have more questions, you guys, in the mailbag. Oh my goodness. The next question is, I am an introvert with anxiety who has to travel overseas to go see my 90-day fiance. Where should I stay? Well, I have sat and contemplated this so much. And, in the spirit of terrible advice, I think hostels are so clean and friendly. I feel like that would be an amazing place where you'll get lots of privacy and it'll be really super romantic. You could potentially end up being single and bilingual at the end of this, but yeah, that's my suggestion. Do you guys have any suggestions or thoughts about, places to stay when you go to visit your 90-day fiance?
I would say, Tracy, just to kind of like piggyback off of what I was discussing earlier on the previous question from your fantastic mailbag there. I'm going with like the Department of Homeland Security because my understanding is they pretty much have everything. It's almost 5-star. I feel like I've stayed at probably a lot, like some hotels that are like far worse, right? But there again, you're going to get to eat. You're going to, have a nice little place. So, you might have a few roommates or whatever. But I'm going to say the Department of Homeland Security, if possible.
I love that. That's so perfect.
Yeah, I don't.
Definitely.
I like the Homeland Security angle on it, because it brings back that other thing we are talking about being near some kind of law enforcement, and it gives you the ability to do something really crazy. So not only do you get to have a way out from your 90-day fiance, you also have a place to go that you can't make an excuse.
Amazing. You know what was one of the best things that I learned also in regards to this was when people go from like America to another country on the show 90 Day Fiance, and they don't know anything about the culture. They did not do their research at all, right? And then they just go like live with the family, and then they're like mortified because they won't eat the food that the family prepares for them and things like that. So yeah, definitely you might end up single and bilingual at the end of this whole experience for sure.
But it kind of rhymes in a sense, singular and bilingual. They that rhymes. So you have that, if anything, because if you read back the original question, it seemed like a poem almost. It was very. If you read it back, it's very. It seems like a lot of things rhymed in that.
Yeah,
We we
interesting.
we stand a melodic question from your people, from your mailbag people. They're amazing.
Yeah.
They really ask the best questions, you
They
know?
do.
Yeah. So another one that is totally cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs is, I couldn't believe they asked this question. It's so obvious to me, but is it okay for me to put my feet up on a long flight? Right. So I'm like, well, yeah, because you want to be famous. I mean, right, SK? You want to end up on the internet or on an OnlyFans? Um, yes, yes on that one.
That's an absolute yes, because again, so it's really going to depend on, because it could go a couple of different ways, right? Again, are you looking for the attention? Are you interested in becoming a millionaire on OnlyFans? Because people are making, well, let's be fair, like about $1 million a month, right? So if so, absolutely, you're going to want to do that. If not, what I would probably recommend is if you could, like, if you get a chance, sit behind like a small child, right? Like preferably like toddler age, if you can, and if that's possible, and then just use their shoulders as an ottoman, and just make sure to take off your shoes and socks, first. Otherwise, like, what's the point?
Yeah, and if you're actually invading someone's privacy and they get mad at you, it's like you probably should just bring a furry jacket. It's kind of like petting a furry wall, like what Russell Brand's, in that movie, he has that famous Smoke a Jeffrey, pet a furry wall, pet a furry jacket. It'll be comforting in case people get mad at you if you accidentally touch their arm
Mhm.
with your toe or something crazy and banana pants like that. Eddie,
I feel like that's a really good backup just in case there is that possibility that you can't sit behind the toddler, right? Because I'm just saying, like, or maybe just, somebody of a, that's maybe a little vertically challenged, right? Because it does help, like with the shoulders, at a lower level, and then you can, throw your bare feet up on top of them, and perfect ottoman.
absolutely.
Well, there's a
Okay.
lot of people on that plane, and some people might get jealous that they don't get some feet. So you can, like, before the flight starts, you get a little bag, and then you have little pieces of paper, and people put what they want. They like to be touched with socks, with one sock and with no sock, bare feet. Would you like them to walk to the bathroom in their bare feet and then put their feet on? There's so many different possibilities of what people would want. So you got to think in big term of all the different people on the plane, and then people will move around and switch for you, and it just makes it a much more comfortable flight. The next thing you know, it's Thanksgiving and you're with your family and you go, hey, bring up that story again about the guy with the socks on the kid's shirt, and just laughter for years and centuries, and there'll be movies and
I love that, Eddie. Also, as we all know, that liquid on the floor of the lavatory is not water. And so when, you do go into the lavatory barefoot, then you come back and then you put them on that, on said small child's shoulders or small person's shoulders. Tom Cruise, he's sitting in front of you. It's cool, right? Same diff. Just do that. I love it because that's a story for years to come. And who doesn't love a little fucking, urine? It's a thing. I don't know. That's maybe
you're in the
exactly.
I think that they should develop a questionnaire, like a little postcard of what your tolerance is for feet on the plane, and where your boundaries are. You know, I think maybe that's what they need to do for all the passengers.
Yeah, we could actually include that. That's a really good idea, Tracy. That would be something that's included on the questionnaire when you're, we could just integrate it into the customs, form. And I think that's a really good idea.
I think so too. And I do want to tell you guys, like, here's the thing. I do like feet, but on stage, I say that I don't because I'm not an open book. And thank you to everyone who is laughing with your hand away from your mouth, because you're all hypocrites.
that makes me laugh. But if you're a hypocrite, like if you're cool, then you're all right. You see what I'm saying? You're double hipped, and and that's hip. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Well, this has been a plane wreck, train wreck, something. Our audio, we're on audio, not video, but also our special guests didn't show up this evening. So it's been awesome, but we are having a totally good time regardless. It's our first episode ever, and this has been super fun for me. And
What
I'm
about Ben,
so
Deborah, or Lois? Do they want to
wait,
come
say
ask
it.
questions?
Or Ben, if Ben or Lois, if either of you guys have a question that you'd like to ask, feel free to come up.
Deborah?
Yeah, or Deborah, if you would like to ask a question, let us know.
And as Tracy mentioned earlier, we've done this quite a few times on a different platform, and we're used to having people that ask questions live, right? And we can come up with a really solid piece of terrible advice. I mean, we are good. Like, look at where we're at in life, right? On a Saturday night, trust me, we've
Yeah. We're the people you need to take advice from.
exactly. Hi, Saturday night. What's up?
I invited everyone, so you have the option to come to the stage and
ask a ridiculous question
ask
about terrible.
And also, as Tracy did mention, in the future, this will be a video. There will be video. Again, we had some technical difficulties, but yes, and then we will have
we say technical difficulties. We don't mean technical difficulties.
We're trying to do the best we can. The thing is, we're trying to manage this gigantic room of people. Don't look down. But yes, so we're doing the best we can. Ben Courier, thank you so much for coming to the stage. Did you need some terrible advice this evening?
Yes. So sorry, I was finishing walking my dog before I was able to come up, but I was curious. I wanted to send my boss a text message, and I didn't know what kind of emojis would be best to send to my boss. You guys have any advice?
Yeah, what is going on with your boss right now?
He's kind of a dickhead, but I want him to get on his good side. So, what would be helpful? I was telling him earlier about an eggplant dinner I was making, and I think I fucked up. So, can you help me?
Well, you never know. He might like eggplant. I'm sure after hour. I don't know if you've hung out with your boss after hours, but if he's an eggplant guy, then you're already on his good side. So I think you just have to do research into all the things he likes, and then because he's a dickhead, just go. Let the naughty sick side go out, and instead of really doing things that he would like maybe an eggplant, do the things he wouldn't like an eggplant with a metal attachment at the end that you can plug in. Those kind of creepy, horrific kinds of things. And even if you don't get to keep the job, think about it. You get to really put it to this dickhead.
I don't know if you've thought about this, Ben, but if you want to maybe resend the eggplant, add what Eddie just mentioned, with the plug in, the outlet, and then if you could maybe after that just go ahead and add like the water squirt emoji. I think that's
Love it, love it. So, like, to give a warning if you get it wet is an electrical surge kind of thing.
no, as in like what's going to be coming out of the egg.
Totally.
I had to turn the mic on because I was laughing so hard. I just wanted you to know that's.
So, yeah, we don't care if he's electrocuted because, as you mentioned, he's a total dick, right? So, we don't care about that. And then, obviously, the irony of it being a dick and an eggplant that's squirting out. Like, I love that. And then, you've got the backup. You can either, use the real thing or you can use a plug in version.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I've been going hard into the accordion emoji, and he's not getting it. He's not getting like what I'm putting down there.
I would also, in all fairness, I would probably add a knife, as well. The knife always it's just trust.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to cut
the knife with an arrow pointing to him.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you're right. Very good. I mean, it's not easy to cut an eggplant. If you have one of those dull butter knives, it's not going to do the job. Any of the jobs you're looking to have done.
Next to that, after you do, essentially, with the knife, the eggplant. Next to that, have you ever used the trash bin or the trash can
I've only
emoji?
received it. I've not given it.
Okay, that's understandable. Go ahead and add that.
Well, you know what? Find the person who sent you the trash can emoji, interview them, and find out some of their tricks, and then you can use it against your boss. Because see, that person had a reason in their mind. They had created this why they wanted you to have a garbage bin, but now you can turn the tables.
Yeah, dig deep.
On that, maybe we should add a table as well.
I think you're right. I think so. A couple of chairs, maybe like some candles, and I'll be dreaming here in the corner.
Maybe we could just make an entire house. Like if you want, like we could completely just set up a whole, like, like the flowers. I mean, I don't know how you guys are like with the set, aesthetically pleasing, scene. I don't know. It could be
I think so. I mean, you can't catch an asshole with honey, right? I think is that the
Tried, yeah.
I think I did one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. But who wants assholes? Well, it's like they say that you can catch flies with honey. It's like, well, great, but who the fuck wants a fly? Unless you're a fly on the wall, which would be weird. Some people dream about being a fly on the wall. It's why. Why don't you just dream you can be there without having to, or be invisible? Then you don't have to be a fly.
Be the omnipotent person, like observing the fly on the wall thing.
Yes. And speak for yourself on the assholes and honey.
Okay. I'm learning a lot about my friends.
Thank you.
What do you think,
Thank
Ben?
you. How do I get off the stage, or is there a way?
Well, can I do one little quick follow up, Ben?
Yeah.
Can you come back to our next show and just let us know how that works out and what happens? Like how your boss responds, or if you're still employed. These are the questions that we're
So,
going to.
eggplant, electric plug, I think is what I heard. Squirty.
Mm-hmm.
Then we do a house, like a table, chairs,
Correct.
a knife. Sorry, a
Get the
few
knife.
knives. Throw a few knives in the mix.
Yep.
thank you.
Yep.
And then make a whole house about it. Is there a limit to the amount of emojis I should send?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think so.
I
I think so because you want the message to come across. You can send a separate line of emojis, but don't confuse the personal guy. Why is this knife here with the teddy bear? Then they have to do, and then you're
Should I
screwed.
caption it and like say what it meant?
Is there a nunchuck?
I don't know. I found recently there's a difference between Android and iPhone, so I don't know what emojis are.
Well, maybe you can have two emojis, one of like an actual nun, and then one of those Chuck Taylor shoes. So you can just say those are nunchucks and see how that works out.
Love it. And which Chuck emoji do I use for that? What did you say?
That's the Chuck Taylor sneakers.
Oh yes, of course.
Oh,
I love this for you, Ben. It's perfect.
Leslie, what?
Oh, hey there, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Are we we're not doing the videos?
We had a few bumps in the road tonight. It's a bumpy flight.
Oh no.
yeah.
I happened to get on right in the middle of it, so I don't know how I missed that. At the mid-boarding.
We were just dishing out some terrible advice to the audience, and we went through some travel related questions we had in our mailbag. And did you have a question for us?
Yeah, I did, if that's okay. If it pleases the committee.
Sure.
Well, guys, I've recently, I've discovered I've got a taste for the rock and roll music and the lifestyle that goes along with that. But, I'm a librarian. What am I going to do with this crazy world? How am I going to merge these two things? I'm really having a crisis of conscience here. And I figured you guys would be the ones to help me set that right, give me some direction in my life. I'll go ahead and just let you guys marinate on that one for a minute.
Well, let me start off by saying, shh. I just always want.
That was my reaction.
Shush your
Oh,
life.
shh.
I always wanted to shush your librarians. Just wanted to get that out of the way. But the rock and roll is about the beat and the beat. Think how scary that is, and not only is the beat coming and the music is there, you have to buy the clothing that goes with it. It's so expensive, and then you have to dance, and then you might hit somebody with your arm when you're flailing. Then you'll be sued, and then you'll have to sell all of your records and your clothing, and all through that, you'll be hearing the beat. You'll be hearing the beat while you're, in jail, and it just. No to music, no to rock and roll. I say.
Leslie, I have a quick question for you. In your research to become a rock and roll person, did you happen to watch the Tommy Lee, Pam Anderson?
Watch it. I had to live it. That was part of my.
Okay, so another follow up. What beach were you? Where were you located, and what ocean?
Atlantic Ocean. The beach was Ocean City, Maryland.
Ooh, okay. So we've got to really start from square one. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to need a moment to ruminate on this. Tracy?
I do. Leslie, I was thinking if you want to live the rock and roll lifestyle, you have to be able to afford it, just like the grunge lifestyle. So, why don't you spend all your money on a wardrobe and then you can just go out on the street and play and open up your guitar box and let people tip you. And you're going to have to move to LA also. it's expensive just to.
So you think I should give up the books completely?
No, what Tracy said is important. You have to open up your box and let people put money in.
Oh yeah. Oh, like an in and out.
Exactly.
Now we're cooking with gasoline. But so my librarian stuff, I can still do it, but I can then also be a rock and roll and in and out box having sassy gal on the go.
Well, that's up to you, really. I mean, you're working with books, and and so also, if you end up being on the side of rock and roll where you book people into clubs or book yourself, then you're totally having this book lifestyle, and it'll cover your book ass.
I just don't want to end up working with hooks or
What's the level of your commitment, Leslie? Like, are we talking a face tattoo? Like what?
So I've already gone that route and I have to wear so much makeup constantly just to look like a normal person during the daytime. And I'm like, maybe I could be a nighttime librarian, but no, there's no people then. And it just kind of defeats my purpose of my other job. So passenger shaming, I just don't know what to do. I'm hella committed.
Yeah, it sounds like it. If you've already done the face tattoo, I have mad respect for you on that.
It was part of the compulsory service agreement of like going to rock and roll college as well as librarian school, dual certified, obviously. But I had a service that I'd like 2 years back and a face tattoo. Back tattoo was.
It really sounds like this is quite an emotional struggle for you, Leslie. So I'm going to mail you a hoodie that says "Emo is not dead" as a gift.
What's emo?
It's a comedian from Chicago who's really
Emo music.
Props to that guy.
Props to all emo.
I thought I saw a mop comic recently, but it was just my janitor.
Props to Nemo too.
Tracy-
Finding Nemo.
See, along with the hoodie, do you mind sending her your PDF about the getting into the rock and roll lifestyle? Because
Yeah, I'll also send her a vial of my tears for having to listen to her this evening.
Sweet. I mean, the Ayatollah of rock and roll, and then the tear having person.
100%. Absolutely. My pleasure. Well, stay tuned, everybody, for next week when we find out if Leslie moves to LA and becomes a famous musician or she might become a furry. We don't really know what's going to happen to her. She could end up in OnlyFans, and who the fuck knows?
I say all of it together. I'm down. I know you missed part of it earlier today. Earlier in the show, but yeah, I mean, some people are bringing in about $1 million a month on OnlyFans, so that's something that I would absolutely look into.
Oh yeah, my little roommate has one of those, and he's pretty popular. He's the leader of
the plot.
We'd like to see his cavities on the OnlyFans. Yeah.
I love that for him.
Me too. It's so life-changing, isn't it?
Tracy, I don't know if you remember, but he did come here once and get some advice, and I think his life has been ultimately altered since.
Life-altering. The thing about us that's so important to know is, if you want a trauma dump, we don't change diapers. I'm sorry to tell you, but if you want us to change your life, we're here for it.
Also, I hate to say speak for yourself on the, again, but on the diapers, speak.
No
Exactly.
Are you a nurse with a purse?
I'm just going to say, you know what? Just, some people are into
Some people are up to no good.
And short people got no reason to live. We know. Yes.
I can't.
Well, oh,
No,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, if you guys have any final questions, hit us up at our mailbag or go start your own fireside show to talk about it. It's been a total pleasure, and I really enjoyed the show. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. This is life-changing shit that's happening right here on Fireside. I'm down for it. I can't wait for the next one. It's going to be very.
And I like the music. It sounds like you're about to go. And now it's 5:05 in the afternoon, and here's a pretty little song that goes something like this. It had that real.
Thanks for having me. And all of my problems at the last minute. You're very kind.
Oh, Miss Leslie, we love you.
Yay, Leslie.
Good luck.
All right. We'll see you